All right, so for this presentation, I chose to talk about Endeavor Airlines. This is a regional airline that's headquartered in Minneapolis and wholly owned by Delta Airlines. I'm originally from Minnesota, and I have a couple friends who are pilots that fly for Endeavor Air, so this company holds a special spot in my heart. So Endeavor basically operates as Delta Connection, and it plays a very important role in connecting the smaller markets with Delta's major hubs across the country. Another reason why I chose Endeavor is just because its history and its connection to Delta, which is one of the bigger airlines in the world, and its position within like the regional airline industry makes it a very interesting carrier to analyze. All right, so Endeavor's history dates back to Express Airlines 1, which began operations in 1985. It's a relatively recent foreign airline. The carrier later became Pinnacle Airlines and operated extensively for Northwest Airlines. Then Pinnacle became bankrupt and restructured in 2012, and then emerged as Endeavor Air in 2013 under Delta ownership. This transformation is important because Endeavor went from a financially troubled regional carrier to an integral part of Delta's network. So today, Endeavor has grown into a pretty substantial regional operation. The airline reports approximately 145 aircraft, 750 daily flights, service to 122 destinations throughout the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean, and it transports more than 15 million passengers annually and employs approximately 5,000 people. So while passengers are interacting primarily with the Delta brand and branding, Endeavor employees and aircraft actually operate many of those smaller Delta Connection flights. Endeavor operates an all-CRJ fleet consisting of the CRJ 700 and CRJ 900. The CRJ 900 makes up the overwhelming majority, and Endeavor is the world's largest operator of that aircraft type. The company retired its smaller CRJ 200 aircraft back in 2023. So fleet commonality provides benefits in a couple different areas like pilot training, maintenance, scheduling, and parts availability, while still allowing Endeavor to provide multiple cabin classes that better match Delta's mainline product. So Endeavor operates within Delta's hub and spoke network. So regional jets allow Delta to connect smaller communities to larger hubs without needing to operate a mainline aircraft on every single route. So Endeavor maintains crew bases in locations that include Atlanta, Cincinnati, Detroit, Minneapolis, New York, and Raleigh. Passengers can then connect through these locations to Delta's much larger domestic and international network. Endeavor's relationship with Delta goes beyond a traditional code share because Delta actually owns the airline. Endeavor operates flights under the Delta Connection brand, while Delta handles much of the customer-facing experience. Endeavor remains responsible for conducting its operation according to federal aviation regulations, but as a scheduled airline, its operation falls under Part 121 and is subject to oversight from agencies including the FAA, Department of Transportation, and TSA, like all other airlines. Endeavor also places a really significant emphasis on its employees. Recognition programs highlight performance in areas including safety, customer service, operations, and teamwork. For pilots, one of the company's most interesting opportunities is its connection with Delta's Propel program. This provides eligible pilots with a defined career pathway towards Delta. A lot of my friends that I know have tried to go through Delta Propel. You can be a previous employee and become an airline pilot that way, or you can go through a university that's affiliated with the Propel program. A lot of these programs are really, really important because flight training is expensive, as we all know, and this provides a direct pipeline to one of the biggest mainline carriers. Mentorship and development programs are especially important in regional aviation because employees are often entering their first professional airline environment. So this kind of sets the path for them in the future. So safety culture is especially important when looking at Endeavor's history. Its predecessor, Pinnacle Airlines, experienced a fatal accident in 2004 involving Flight 3701. During this repositioning flight, the pilots took the CRJ 200 to high altitude where the aircraft entered a pilot-induced aerodynamic stall, and both of their engines eventually flamed out. Both of the pilots were killed in this accident. And this demonstrates why professionalism and adherence to standard operating procedures matter even when there are no passengers on board. This safety culture depends on individual behavior just as much as it does on organizational policies. I think Endeavor is currently in a relatively strong position compared with many of the regional airlines. So the Delta ownership provides really great stability and access to an established network and a constant and consistent source of passengers. However, that relationship also creates kind of a dependence on Delta's future network decisions. Endeavor must also address challenges including workforce availability, regional airline economics, and eventually replacing an aircraft family that is no longer being produced. Sustainability also creates an interesting long-term challenge for Endeavor. Delta has established an aspiration of reaching net zero emissions by 2050, meaning its regional operation will eventually have to evolve as well. In the near term, efficiency improvements and sustainable aviation fuel can reduce environmental impact, but longer term, Endeavor will eventually need a successor to the CRJ fleet. New propulsion technologies and more efficient regional aircraft could significantly change what Endeavor's fleet looks like in the future. Overall, my outlook for Endeavor is positive. The airline has a significant advantage of Delta ownership and plays an important role in connecting regional communities with Delta's larger network. At the same time, its future is closely tied to decisions that are made by Delta. I think fleet modernization, workforce development, and maintaining a strong safety culture will be the three most important areas for Endeavor going forward. If those challenges are managed effectively, Endeavor should remain an important part of Delta's network for years to come. And that's going to be it. These are the references that I have on my slides. Thank you guys for watching.